Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is Sometimes We Need to Choose Between Rejection and Regret. And at first, the title of this podcast might surprise you, but often we are choosing between these two things. We're thinking about a goal. We're thinking about starting a business. We're thinking about changing our job. We're thinking about starting a new relationship. And we're weighing these two things out. Can I handle failure? Can I handle someone not liking me? Can I handle not getting that job? Is it easier just to stay where I am? I'd rather just play it safe, even if I regret it, than to feel that pain, to feel that disappointment. Because it is a very challenging thing sometimes to put yourself out in the world. And so in this moment, if staying at the job, if not dating, if not pursuing something feels better, it's okay. Because we don't know what tomorrow brings. And we don't know how you're going to feel tomorrow. So even if you feel like this moment you're choosing regret over rejection, it's just a moment in time. And if you decide to pursue your dreams in this moment, if you're going out there and you want to get that new job and you want to start the business, you want to have the relationship, you need to prepare yourself for the rejection. You need to prepare yourself for what's to come. And I think sometimes we miss that point. We become very positive and we believe in manifesting, but because a lot of us are afraid of uncertainty, when things don't go our way, we lose our way. And the hardest thing that happens is we start to think less of ourselves. We let things that happen in the outside world, the rejection in a relationship, the business that fails, the job we don't get, make us feel like we don't have what it takes, that we are less valuable, that we are not smart enough or we are not good enough. And then what could happen when we have that feeling is that we dream less. We try less things. And then every day we go out into the world feeling smaller. And in a way, we're riding both the rejection and then eventually the regret, because we can't quite get ourselves back to where we were when we started. And the most important thing to prepare ourselves for rejection is to invest in ourselves and to commit to the fact that we will value ourselves no matter what. That what happens in the outside world does not reflect our intelligence, our ability to get things done, and how we see ourselves in the world. In fact, everything in the outside world, if we're able to process it, if we're able to see it objectively, if we're able to learn from it, actually elevates us. It elevates our intelligence. It elevates our experience to go back in the world and try again. And maybe it's a different business, and maybe it's a different dream, and maybe it's a different relationship. But if we do look at rejection as a redirection, or we look at it as just another thing in our lives to go back and invest back in ourselves, that's when rejection always is the gift that keeps on giving. But many of us see it as the gift that keeps on taking because we allow it to take from our spirit, from our soul, from our heart. And we're letting it knock us down instead of building us up. So if we can do this, if we can commit to ourselves, then rejection is just a building block. And I know I've talked about my personal story a lot, but I've had a lot of rejection in my life. My husband left me. My books have been rejected. I got another one that's being rejected right now. And I see how certain things could make me feel more sensitive and more vulnerable. And I need to process things. But I do my best every day to recommit to myself, to invest in myself. Because I'm someone who doesn't want the regret. I don't want my fear to limit me in this lifetime. But to be honest, every time I go back out there, for whatever reason, for a relationship, for an opportunity, for a TED Talk, whatever I'm looking for, when rejection comes my way, it could still sometimes almost take my breath away, or it could knock me down. And then I have to remember, I have to go through the steps that I am valuable just because I am, and I'm lovable just because I am, and my dreams are real, and I have what it takes because what I seek is seeking me. What I desire desires me. And I get back up again. And I hope you decide to do the same if it is the right moment for you. And don't worry again if it's not. Sometimes we need to heal from pain. Sometimes we're not ready. Sometimes we have an experience we're unhappy with, but it's not time to go. Go light on yourself. But if you could think about this, if you could start thinking about, am I staying where I am because I'm choosing regret over rejection? And ask yourself some questions. Why would I rather regret the decisions I made in my life than avoid rejection? What am I afraid of would happen if I pursued my goal? What would happen if I got rejected in a relationship? How would I be able to get up again? What are my goals? How would I feel if in 20, 30, 40 years I didn't pursue them? Am I being short-sighted? Maybe I'm not ready at this moment. And it's also interesting to work on your fear of the unknown. Because perhaps it's not even about being ready or not ready. Perhaps you're just so afraid of uncertainty that if you don't know what's going to happen, you can't bear living through all of that. And then, of course, you have the maybe practice. I have a lot of podcasts about that. And you try to remember that uncertainty is your best friend, because if you want your life to change, it has to happen in the unknown. The new business happens in the unknown. The new relationship happens in the unknown. The new job happens in the unknown. But you have to get on the playing field. And you have to choose. You'd rather be rejected than regret a decision, than regret not trying. So investigate it. But I can assure you that every goal you have, everything you desire in your life is real. I can assure you that you're valuable and that you're lovable and you have what it takes to pursue your dreams and your goals. I can't tell you how many times you'll be rejected. I can't tell you how your goals will change. I can't tell you how your life path will unfold. But I do believe in my heart that if you keep on trying and you're able to weather the storm and love yourself no matter what and value yourself no matter what and use every rejection to gain more wisdom, that you will find your way, that you will find success, that you will find that relationship, that you will find that job, that you will find your way, that you will have dreams that come true, that your life will be fulfilling. And I believe you can do this. What you desire desires you, and what you dream of is possible. And again, go easy on yourself if it's too much for you in this moment. I get it. There are things that I couldn't do after my husband left me, and it took me a really long time. And on June 30th, it's going to be 5 years. And I understand that there are times in our lives where it's okay to stand still. It's okay to stay with something we might regret. You will figure it out over time. But start to really think about this and understand the relationship between rejection and regret. Understand your relationship with uncertainty. And maybe after listening to this podcast, you're going to start to pursue your goals with more strength and vigor. And maybe after listening to this podcast, you're going to make a decision to pursue a dream. Or maybe you're going to start considering why you're staying at a job and why you're not getting yourself back out there for a relationship. Or maybe it's just not the right time. But again, I hope you're able to think about these things that I've discussed. And whatever decision you make, I hope that you're able to make it from your heart. I hope you're able to make it from a place that you know you're lovable and you're valuable. And I hope you remember that uncertainty is your best friend, and so much more is possible than you could even imagine in this moment. And always remember, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe or Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you can subscribe and leave a comment.